Hi everyone, I am Haunting and this is my channel and welcome back. I haven't been feeling well for a little while, but now I am better and we can continue our New York tour. In New York City, there can be so many stories about gruesome events and the spiritual activities that follow. One such house can be the subject of such a discussion. The house with the address of 14 West and 10th Street might be one of the most infamous residences of the Big Apple. The stories of the various hauntings and homicide that had shocked the city and provided a strong case as to why it's infamously dubbed the House of Death. In the house's near 116-year-old history, so much occurred here. Even today, there's a good chance that the residents of the house may or may not know the story of the various hauntings and tragic events that occurred. It was once temporarily home of one of America's most recognized writers, his own record of his time at the house. At the time, when real estate was favorable in the Washington Square Park area of New York City, the house known as Number 14 at the time was constructed in the 1850s. Oddly enough, the park was known for being a burial ground for human remains and remnants of wood coffins and headstones were buried underground. Prior to the house winning its infamous name, the home was residence of a numerate of New York high society. One notable resident was James Gorman Johnson and his wife. Johnson was known as one of the founders of the Metropolitan Underground Railroad and the Broadway Underground Railroad. After the Johnsons left, the home continued to be leased to many wealthy residents that had stayed a short time. His name was Samuel Clements, better known as Mark Twain. While Twain didn't stay long, it was certain that his spirit may have stuck around much longer, and probably remains there to today. The home was occupied by various residents over the next few decades. In the early 1930s, a mother and daughter had moved into the home. Shortly after moving in, the pair had encountered a man who was sitting by the window, addressing himself as Clemens. The man would soon disappear, apparently without a trace. One of the women that Clemens was complaining about having a problem and wanted to settle it. The spirit was described as wearing a white suit that may have been one of the many encounters of the apparent specter of Mark Twain. Throughout the late 1930s, the demand of apartments was growing at a rapid rate. Soon enough, the brownstone house, along with many others in the city, were soon converted to house multiple apartments. 14 West and 10th Street alone contained 10 apartments by the time it was fully converted in 1937. One such residence moved in after the conversion was the actress named Jane Bryant Bartell. Bartell reported feeling presences instantly and even recalled seeing a monstrous shadow moving around the halls. She would later re-encounter her story of the paranormal happenings in the apartment that in her mirror that she published in 1974. It was said that she was experiencing paranormal happenings in an apartment that she lived in during the 1950s. Instantly, the adjacent to 14 West Instant Street. Whether the spirits have followed Rotel to her new apartment remains to be seen. Throughout the years, the residents have her new apartment remains to have occupied the apartments have begun feeling continuous spirits presence. They have seen spirits raining from Mark Twain himself, and even the young woman holding a cat among many others. However, it was a shocking homicide that took place at 14 West and 10th Street that rifted the city and added a chapter to what was already known as the House of Death. The home was the subject to a murder of a 6-year-old early Chester Steenberg, born Elizabeth Lowners. In the early 1980s, a high-power attorney named Joel Steenberg was hired by Michelle Landers, a single mother who was looking for an attorney to help her daughter land a suitable home for adoption. In a stunning turn of events, Steenberg himself, along with his live-in partner, had raised the child as their own. The adoption proceedings have never occurred, and it was believed that Steenberg had adopted the child illegally. Lisa was one of the 2 children that Sterling had apparently adopted without going through the legal process. On November 1st, 1987, the tragedy occurred when the elder Steenberg was apparently high on crack cocaine when he allegedly struck Lisa in the head. Soon after the attack, Steenberg left the residence to visit friends. His life partner, Hedda Newsman, had dialed 911 after Steenberg left the home. Lisa was transported to a nearby medical center where she died from her injuries. That the other child, named Michelle and Newsman appeared to have signs of physical abuse. While Newsman's apparent abuse was addressed by the media, Steenberg's defense team stated both Nurse Bryan and Newsman had consensual relationship that involved cinematic activity. Steenberg was eventually convicted of manslaughter and was sentenced to an 8 to 25 year in prison. Steenberg served time at the Southport Correctional Facility in Southport, New York, until September 30th, 2004. Since his release, Steenberg has managed to live a low-profile life in Harlem, despite working on a job in construction. Since Lisa Steenberg's death, Michelle Steenberg was eventually reunited with his biological mother. Miles Steenberg will live infamy for the rest of his life. He will be known for writing one of the most bizarre chapters of the history that can only be told by the many spirits that reside at 14 West and 10th Street. Could it be the spirits themselves that had witnessed the death of little Lisa? Did the spirits drive Steenberg to a point where he could use drugs to escape? In reality, he couldn't. So many questions. Since the house is a private residence, it Might not be a smart idea to simply walk right in and say you're looking for ghosts. But it might be the place where paranormal experts have set up shop to encounter spirits and document the paranormal activity. But if you somehow end up mailing around Greenwich Village and walk past the home, you might be able to encounter some eerie feelings. While it may not be a guarantee that you might see a spirit, such passing through might be enough of a reason to check out the place while walking. And without walking in. Only the residents of the home, past and present, might tell the story of the various hauntings and strange happenings. Whether you are a resident of 14 West and 10th Street, or even someone who plans on visiting the city of New York, it might just be straight up scary knowing that this place is home to many spirits, including that of a legendary American writer. Even if you are passing through the home, you never know what or who you might encounter while you're in and around the area. While there is a good chance that people are still living there, don't be shocked if they happen to have a story or two of some paranormal activity that may have happened. The question for you, if the opportunity were to rise, would you live in a home known as the House of Death? Now me, I probably wouldn't live in a house known as the House of Death. I'd probably investigate it because I'm crazy. But, yeah. I wouldn't live there. Walking around, investigating, maybe. But, nah, I'm not gonna be that person who brings something home. Anyway, thank you for watching my channel and videos. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I am Haunting Girl, and this is my channel. Until next time, pleasant dreams.